Well, hello everybody. Charles Kent, Mayor of Fairmont, and my strange friend here that hasn't been on with me in a couple of weeks because they canceled my radio show, and I decided I'd start bringing in uh, what would be radio guests to our videos, and bump Mister Chestnut off. He
That's right.
he couldn't meet the fee that I was charging, so he got bumped to the side. But he's back. We got a really interesting show for you today, and we're not going to name any names because we're full disclosure people. But this would be wrong to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw a video yesterday on YouTube. I do a lot of YouTube things just to see our videos and see what's going on. And it was a composite of 15 North Carolina towns
Yes, sir.
that we're experiencing economic and population
Yes, sir.
decline and crime issues. And of the 15 that were mentioned, nine of them were within, I'd say, a baseball throw. That's the exaggeration. There were four in Robeson County and two in Columbus County, and we weren't mentioned.
That's right.
And I was stunned by that. So I contacted Mr. Chestnut, and today we're going to talk about not only that video, but why we weren't on it,
Correct.
which is a good thing. This was a really open video about why these towns were suffering because of population decline and economic depression and hardships. Not saying they were the worst place to live, but
That's right.
that they were not doing well. But Fairmont wasn't listed. I waited, I put my hands on my chair and waited for it to happen.
I was scared.
But it never showed up. We never showed up. And will not name the towns. That wouldn't be fair to them because
Yes,
I know they're trying as hard as they can. But Mr. Chestnut, you saw the video. I sent it to you. What do you think about it?
I look at it from a town manager perspective, and sometimes I try to put on your hat, Mr. Mayor, and try to be
Well, that's dangerous.
try to look at it from elected officials. North Carolina is, when you look at it on the map, North Carolina is a very elongated state, east to west. On the east coast, you have the beaches, and then on the west, you have the mountains. Both of them are serious economic generators
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
for the state of North Carolina and bring in a lot of money. But southeastern North Carolina is faced with something a little different for the inland towns. And what I mean by that is we're close enough to the beach for people to drive through and get there, but we're at a period on their trips where it's hard for them to stop coming or going.
Yeah, we're not a destination.
That's right. And I think going forward, yourself, the board, and me and the staff have got to have a conversation of what that means on paper, because, like you said, what we saw in the video is quite a few towns in southeastern North Carolina specifically that are struggling population wise and economic development wise.
One of those towns
Yeah.
is even literally a baseball throw from I-95.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And yet they're struggling, which
Yes, sir.
means that the people are coming straight through
Yes, sir.
I-95, either north or south, and not stopping.
That's right. That's right. So and again, I'm glad Fairmont wasn't on the list for
Boy,
whatever
I was tickled to death.
for whatever reason, but I also would like to think of the four-letter word you got on your desk right there. That's hope.
Yeah.
Fairmont is in a good place with a very diverse population, and we have a mentality here, following your vision and the board's vision, where we don't want to be left out there by ourselves. So we push marketing for all of our events. We push the best part of our town. We've had some serious economic development with small businesses coming into the town over the last few years, and that has been great. We've had millions of dollars invested by the federal government and state government in the North Carolina. And we've had a lot of citizens and property owners invest hundreds of thousands in their property here. So when everyone is online and looking at these municipalities' presence online and what that means, um, for us, it represents hope and opportunity for economic development and population growth.
Well, one of the things we've got going for us, and you worked very hard on this. We've been challenged. I'm going to say it very nicely.
Yes, sir.
We've been challenged by some citizens in our community regarding an apartment complex that is going to be put in the next year or two. It's I've heard 74 and I've heard 84. I'll just split the difference and say 80 apartments times two. If you want to just go 1.5.
Yeah.
That's close to 100 people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or over 100
Yes, sir.
people, which are going to work in Fairmont, purchase things in Fairmont, and help Fairmont grow.
Most definitely, Mr. Mayor.
I don't think any of those others that were mentioned in that YouTube have that kind of situation going on.
I don't think so either, Mr. Mayor. And it's not just those apartments, but
I know there are other things.
yeah, we have serious apartments and townhomes in the planning stages for the town of Fairmont going forward. It's been a hard challenge, right? But getting our citizens to understand why we need population and what that means for revenue. I think one of the things going forward is at our upcoming commissioner meeting, I'm going to show why population is so important to the individual person. We're not here in Fairmont, we're not going to get a developer that comes in and want to build thousands of homes.
No.
The appetite isn't there. The real estate, quite frankly, isn't there. But letting everybody know that we're trying to grow to be able to provide better services and more services for our citizens. And when people are looking at places to go, whether it's to move to or just drive through, they're looking at things to do. Those are things that we're working on as the staff, the board, our community partners to try to grow the town to keep us out of those lists of places that are struggling.
I operate off of. I'll share the billing. I operate off of a simple rule called the Charlie Stafford P.T. Barnum rule. My whole life is built around those two men's concepts. Charlie Stafford came to this town in 1937 and turned Fairmont's tobacco upside down. Became a living legend at the time he was alive and a legend since then. P.T. Barnum sat outside a tent and said, "Give me a nickel and you can go inside and see the largest elephant in the world." Or somebody in a jar, or some monstrosity. And people paid him millions of nickels. And all of a sudden you had the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus, which is the most famous circus name in the world.
That's right.
If I can produce, not those kinds of events, but everything that I can produce on my part to bring people to Fairmont, and the Fairmont mold or brand leaves etched into their forehead, then I've accomplished something.
Most definitely.
And we've accomplished it for the town of Fairmont. People go somewhere and you've got a t-shirt with Fairmont on it. I know where that place is.
That's right.
You got a guy who sends out emails on that every week, or y'all have an absolutely big farmers festival, or whatever. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's not about how many apartments are built or not built. It's not how many stores are open and stay open. It's about the whole town and what we can do to move people here so they'll be proud to live here. That's what it's all about. And I believe those towns that are suffering haven't done that. They haven't gotten a Jerome Chestnut. They really haven't gotten it. And I don't mean to slight them in any way, shape, or form.
Of course.
But I don't believe that any one of those towns that were mentioned, half of the people that were mentioned in this 15-town video, have a town manager that is as relentless, I use that term, relentless in finding money, federal, state, local money, and solutions to our problems that this man here is.
And most definitely, and the opportunity lies there with all of our towns. There's so many things that we can do for our towns to grow our towns. And we're trying to do our best here. We don't sit around with our thumbs twiddling, trying to find answers. We're consistently pushing out information.
If we fall off the cliff, we'll climb back up and try another angle.
Most definitely. But, my message is to all the small towns out there that's struggling, including us, is put your effort into the positivity of your community. Celebrate your local festivals, celebrate your local arts. Get people outside of your town, even with its little bad spots, to just come visit. And we've done a great job at it. There's still things we can do. And we have some significant events coming up to invite everyone to Fairmont and experience what we experience. Come talk to our citizens. Come talk with how you can invest in our community and how you can make the current events that we're doing better. We have May Day coming up. We have Memorial Day ceremonies coming up. We have America's 250th anniversary coming up. There's lots of things. Come to Fairmont, talk to us, invest in us, hang out and talk with us. Maybe you're somewhere in one of those other towns or another state that has an idea that we could grow off of. So we're not into stealing trademark ideas, but every one of our communities have something that we love and we embrace and we can come together around. And again, we're talking about your local festivals, but we can come around those same things on how to grow our population, how to grow industry in our town. And I want to share this one last thing. We have a commissioner that has really, engaged in a conversation about the 2030 census. And I think that going forward, that's a great thing. Now that we know how long it takes to grow communities, all of these development deals are taking years to get in place and break ground. And we still have an opportunity to break ground on some things here in 2026 and 2027 that will posture us good for the census in 2030, Mr. Mayor.
I'm going to close by saying this. Anybody who knows me, and if you see, I guess you can see it with the video, you can see on the wall behind me that I'm a big North Carolina fan. I've always have been since I was 13 years old. But I have to give Jim Valvano credit. And I'll try and get through this without being emotional. The finest speech I've ever heard anybody ever give was his ESPN speech when he was dying of cancer.
Yes, sir.
And he said, never give up. Never give up. And as long as I have breath in my body, and I am the mayor of Fairmont, and as long as Mr. Chestnut is here, and I know him well enough to say this for him, we will never, ever give up in making Fairmont the best town it can possibly be.
That's right.
Come to Fairmont and visit us. If you don't believe us, we'll show you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.